So are we going live from our page or are we going live?
It's from the page.
Facebook.
It's the Facebook page. It's from there. We're live now.
Dope.
We don't have any visitors yet, so we'll just sit here looking really attractive until
You want to play some music? Just shouldn't play music off my phone. Huh? Fitness group.
Oh, we have one person that's looking. Who's here?
That's what's up. Shots out to you.
2 people.
2. For sure. We're just waiting on a couple more people to get inside, y'all. But how y'all feeling today? Can they write?
Yeah, they can comment. They can comment and do whatever they need to do. I believe. Let's see. Somebody says, please say this so I can come back to it. I'm working, can't hear. Oh, okay. Cool, Dominique.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in. If you could hear me, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. You can share that. Oh.
If you could hear me. There we go. Awesome.
Hey, for now.
Yeah, what's up, Renee? How you feeling today, bro? Oh, yeah, we can see everybody. Everybody on there. It's all love. What's happening?
Awesome. I never like waiting for people, so.
Yeah, they're tired to the party. We get this party started. Didn't mean say shit.
Yeah, we get the party started. So thanks again for coming, everybody.
For sure.
If you don't get to see this live, then you'll get to see this on our page. Mm-hmm. But my name's Alicia.
And I'm Brian. Everybody call me BA. How you feeling today?
The glow is real. You're right, Vernell.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to giggle the whole time. But as you see, we started a thing, the Black Love Experiment. And I know we've heard a couple people kind of comment and ask questions about kind of what is it and what are we doing.
Definitely. Been getting a lot of that.
A whole lot. And so today really is just an introductory, kind of like a, hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Exactly. And tell you a little bit about what we're doing and what we're hoping to accomplish. Okay. So you want to tell them a little bit something?
Sure. The first thing I want to do is put your mind to ease. We are not experts. We are not counselors, I should say, but we're coaches. I'm a certified life coach, and as a life coach, I'm known for asking engaging questions to get you to think outside your norm and the box in order to facilitate growth. Yeah, that's my part.
And I am the writer and of 100 Dates. I actually went on 100 dates. It took me 3 years. And with that, coupled with lots and lots of, that's mine. Mm-hmm. It's totally mine. You didn't have one. You can share it. We can share it.
No, you see, man, I always turn around to the side like that. Anyway,
I went on 100 dates. It took me about 3 years, and coupled with counseling and appearing on some radio shows and talk shows and things like that. I'm likened as a dating coach and a dating expert. I don't pretend to know everything, but one thing that I think that we've experienced is when you are intentional about your wants and desires inside of a relationship and you've done the work to fix your demons and your past issues, it's really easy to connect with somebody. And so although this might seem out of the blue to some people who know us individually, that's part of the Black Love Experiment. It's like, what happens when you don't tell people your business? How connected we were, how fast we were able to kind of reconnect and grow our relationship when people didn't know that there was one and there was no input that was external, that was toxic or any type of that nonsense.
Yes. Would you like to give them back some background history on our story?
So I'll give it from my perspective. I'll give you a little Reader's Digest version. So I met Brian in the 7th grade. So not really pigtails, but kind of looked just like this, just with a smaller face, I guess. But no, Brian since 7th grade, and we've been in each other's orbit for 20 plus years.
Facts.
We dated a little bit 6, 7-ish years ago, maybe. The timeline is murky. Exactly, a little bit on, a little bit off, and it was a conscious kind of uncoupling. It was some, I'm not gonna say renegade shit, but it was some grown-uppery that happened, and we decided to. Are we smiling? Yes, we are smiling big enough, Jonathan. I love you, Cobro. But yeah, we've known each other for a very long time, and then we reconnected last year, and it's been awesome ever since. And part of what we've been talking about is this Black love experiment. What happens when you really throw the social norms? Oh, this is yours. I'm so sorry. Mine's over there. I apologize. I was wrong. See, that's even part of the Black love experiment, when you can admit that you were totally incorrect, and you can apologize. I fussed at you for no reason.
And someone doesn't throw it up in your face.
I'll hear about it later. I'm kidding. Just teasing. But yeah, you give them your Reader's Digest version.
Reader's Digest version. Well, like you say, our first experience with each other was in about 7th, 8th grade, and we separated, met back up in high school, and a little bit after college. She's always been someone who was inside my mind at times throughout life, I should say. We linked back up again, like you said, about 7 or 8 years ago, and when we did so, everything was great. And like she said, it was like a conscious uncoupling. We both kind of knew that we were not ready for each other or ready for love at the time. She had went through her experience, and I was going through my experiences. And we just realized that it wasn't time just yet. But what did you say? I say if it's meant to be, it'll be. It'll happen when it's
supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hear that because I'm a little bit of a spoiled brat. And I didn't want to admit that I wasn't ready, but I can say that was probably the most adult breakup that I think I ever experienced. And to echo what you just said, like, you were always somebody that was on my mind and I always had fond memories of. So it wasn't hard to kind of not even fall back in. It was just like, it felt new and exciting because we had a great foundation, but it wasn't hard to build on that foundation, considering we both done a significant amount of work on ourselves. So,
So what kind of work have you done on yourself? I mean, tell us a little bit, I guess tell the people or the people tuned in a little bit about your 100 dates and what you learned from the single life.
Phew, Lord. So, divorced in 2009.
Okay.
And was single since then, and realizing that I had never had time for myself. I went from being somebody's mama and somebody's wife at 19, and then going through, a series of kind of failed and floundering relationships, but I had never really found time to figure out who I was. And part of the 100 Dates experience was a little bit of a challenge just to go out and date, because that's not something that I had done before. It was more like, you've been around forever, let's be together.
Yeah.
Versus let me actually go out, meet people, learn more about myself, learn about what kind of people I like, learn more about who I am as a woman. And I had some parameters around it. So if you look at 100 Dates, or there's a page on Facebook, 100 Dates TV, you can see that. But yeah, it took me 3 years. And it was a whirlwind. There were some pretty horrible dates. There was some pretty cool dates. It wasn't 100 different people, but it was 100 dates. And some people I dated for 5-6 months. I reconnected with like old flames that was a complete and total disaster. And I don't have to go any further because he knows what I'm talking about. But I came out of it and actually came out of it engaged. And that lasted 3 years. And it kind of became blatantly obvious that that person wasn't for me. So rather than stay in a relationship that was fine for all intents and purposes, no challenge too big that I couldn't have worked through or just suffered through. But from talking to my circle and really doing some work on myself, I realized I needed to step out of that situation. So kind of coupling 100 dates, being divorced, being a widower, and seemingly I should be jaded and like angry and bitter. But finding that my heart was still open.
I was going to say something ignorant, but I didn't say it. I was going to say, she's not a bitter bitch. She's not a bitter bitch.
Thanks. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I think we learned what we learned dealing with relationships from different angles for a reason. Of course, I'm not a typical, but I'm a black male inside today's society. Of course, there's a standard that we're supposed to screw as many women as we can or do all type of retarded stuff, but that was never the case with me, at least for the most part of my life. After I had my daughter 16 years ago, I just realized that I could not continue on with the womanizer aspect of it. I believe that's something that boy-minded people do or young-minded people do. I definitely believe that it was an integral part to my maturation, but it just wasn't who I was at my core throughout the long term. I took some time to study manhood, leadership, conflict resolution, the body, the mind, and got into spirituality, and I realized a lot when it came to dealing with the masculine and feminine energies. And that's just me.
Your handoffs are great.
Yeah.
So what is the Black Love Experiment? I know that's probably the question that we see. We got like 100 and some odd followers that are probably wondering like what the heck is going on. So we were talking about our experiences individually and how if we looked at our relationship now, it was very easy to connect on a very deep and meaningful level without all the fluff, without all the nonsense, without all the pomp and circumstance. And we thought about how that was so different than how most relationships start.
Yes.
Most relationships, sure. I won't say most, but I'll say in our experiences, a lot of relationships start either parasitically, where I need something from you. So
stop. Parasitically. We know what it means. Just let it marinate.
Yes. Where I'm latching onto you because I have to. You have something that I need. Or it's a codependent relationship.
Facts.
Where I absolutely have to have you in my existence or I'm going to be lacking something.
Right.
So when we came together, we wanted to. Simple and plain. It was a natural attraction. It was a natural friendship that we were able to continue to build on. Yeah. And it was less about what do you have to provide for me and what can, and vice versa. It was how can we come together and better each other's lives? And we kept that focus, even though in the beginning, I don't think either one of us wanted to admit that we were headed that direction. Okay, I'll say me.
Okay.
It was me. I was the hard-headed one. I was a hard-headed one. But I think even talking about those, so why you keep grinning?
I'm just looking at you.
Yeah, because I finally admitted it.
No.
Out loud.
I'm just listening.
Okay.
Look at the flashing lights.
That's not flashing. But yeah, I had to admit that it was real and it was genuine, and all of the triggers that I think I felt personally from previous situations not going well, that wall was up for me. And for people that know me personally know that I'm perfectly fine being by myself.
Thanks.
And it's no issue for me to detach, whether that be healthy or not healthy.
Yeah.
And so when I found myself wanting to, continue and dig deep, and we would share conversations about all kinds of things that was new to me, some things that I hadn't, even thought about, and things that you really changed my perspective on. I found myself just feeling like almost, and I know we don't like to use the word overwhelmed, but overwhelmed with like just positive feelings. And it didn't feel like that puppy love honeymoon thing. It felt really deep, and like,
for sure.
I don't want anything tangible from this man, but everything that he is what I want to impound on that. Like, I want to expound on that. I want to maximize it. Like, and I believe in everything that you've got going on and do. So, that
means a lot.
You're great. I love you long time. You're so silly. So the Black Love Experiment is really us sharing the things that we've learned over 15, 16 years plus about life and relationships, and hopefully joining and gathering a community of people who think and feel the same way.
For sure. We
want to help you break down your beliefs in social norms and things that might be holding you back from maximizing your relationship's potential, whether you're single or you're in a relationship. Challenging what we think we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's something that I think for us, we really did well.
Yeah.
Like, I know we have a lot of content, and we're going to talk a lot more than just today, but even like titles.
Yeah.
I'm a title person. At first, I really like the idea of, okay, claim me, because now everybody knows that you're mine. And yeah, you challenged me on that. Like, okay, matter of fact, you tell them what you said. I'm gonna drink your soda, your water.
Oh, wow. Well, when we had a conversation one day, and I told her that the midpoint, the boyfriend and girlfriend part of a relationship, is usually prolonged and it ends badly. I can't necessarily remember the exact words I said, but it was pretty much the fact that a lot of people flip out when they get a title. A lot of relationships end because they put a title on it, because people always have set expectations for the titles that they have for the opposite sex, right? And since they have expectations for those roles, but they just have a blank, they just have a vision, or what they believe that they want, but they never take the time to realize what they want. They go by what society tells them that they want within a relationship, what's good and what's bad, and they don't take the time to actually define it for themselves. One of the things that I did just practicing manifestation, I took the time to write down all the things that I wanted in a potential mate or in a wife inside of my spouse. And I will say she has fulfilled all of that stuff plus, which is kudos to her, because I was burnt out on females for a minute. They made me rip my hair out. You see, I'm bald headed. It made me rip my hair out because they frustrate me a lot of the times, because we just speak two different languages. But me just taking the time to learn manhood and masculinity, you definitely learn a lot about what the masculine and the feminine energies represent, and how they are interchangeable and how they work together. She was somebody who I recognized was not only learning but willing to learn and have learned a lot of that stuff, and we were able to bounce ideas off of each other in order to facilitate growth, which was very important. Fellas, you have to have a vision in order for someone to help you manifest that vision. Yeah. And you see, like, it's a Billy right there.
Okay, you can totally see it. You can't see it on the phone.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at myself with 2 different cameras, y'all.
It's high tech. It's high tech over here.
High tech.
Jonathan, you be proud. You be proud. And one of our goals, really, in addition to just helping share ideas and concepts, is to join in with people that are also in healthy, thriving relationships. I think one of the things that is lacking is examples in our community, especially people our age. Our generation's relationships are modeled after our parents. And for a lot of us, I know myself, I wasn't necessarily thrilled with the example that my parents and some of my aunts and uncles and the people that I got to see have. So it was like, I don't want that relationship. So to not be able to have a good example of what you would want kind of leaves you with no blueprint. Facts. And so having a bunch of failed relationships, having a bunch of, miss attempts and almost theirs, it's like, okay, at what point do you stop and to realize that you need to do some work on yourself and make the life you want? And in being the person that I want to date, that's kind of what came out of that 100 dates for me, is realizing I can't be asking for someone to have a PhD in astrophysics and I barely got out of high school, that's a kind of a goofy example, but if I value somebody with education, because I have, multiple degrees, I had to recalibrate it. It didn't have to be somebody graduated from college, but I was passionate about somebody who was a forever learner, a continual learner. Yeah. And I had to test that out. And a lot of people don't spend time with themselves to figure out what they actually want. And, finding out health. I really wanted somebody that was health conscious and cared about what they put in their body so that I would have my partner for as long as possible, not watch them die at 50. But that means I had to get off the couch and I had to be conscious about what I fed my children and what I ate for myself. Mm-hmm. So being able to just all those examples and just being able to be in community with people who are like-minded, even if you've just got married or if you're single and you want to, have some tips and tools on how to, heal yourself and to think of things. I was raised around lasting marriages. Absolutely, Vernell. And you might have been, and you've also been married for a long time. So not everybody had that benefit. I've seen lasting marriages in my family that sucked.
Facts.
Where it was like, y'all aren't happy. Y'all aren't happy at all. And I still don't, there was no blueprint there for me, even with people that have been married for a long time. So that's just my personal experience. And so even being in community with people that have been around lasting marriages like yourself, I would love to be able to grow a community that is filled with people that are like-minded as far as wanting to see Black love be sustainable and continue forward.
I think just to kind of piggyback off what she said and just to explain it from a guy's perspective, or from my perspective, I would say, is that we've been conditioned as a people, Black people, that's why I call it the Black love experiment. We've been conditioned to look at love a certain way. A lot of times it's considered transactional. A lot of times people go into it with fear. But one thing she said was that we didn't have perfect or good examples of what a healthy relationship looks like. I know as a Black man, I have a father, I have a mother, and they're beautiful people to me. They're still married. But once again, just because people are married doesn't mean that they've been happily married for such a very long time. And I think we both have a commitment to be in a happy relationship, not just there that's surviving but thriving. And people don't realize, and I had to learn this from watching my parents, they still take the time to proactively date each other. just because you get married don't mean you don't have to date each other. But just taking tips from watching the older people, you realize that love and relationships, just like children, don't come with a manual. But as long as you have a willingness and a wanting to grow within that relationship, and once again, it has to be cohesive, not codependent, but cohesive. There's a difference between just being together because you want to be with somebody and being happy with somebody and growing with somebody. Because people grow, and they grow either together or they grow apart, but people grow at different rates. So I think that's very important. And I think part of what we got is the fact that we both took the time individually to read up on marriage, men, women, love, and relationships individually. So when we came together, we were able to put it together and see what we could do to help out our fellow man. That's another thing that's very important, is that you have to have a vision, but be united in vision within that relationship. And we definitely are united in trying to bring couples together and promote genuine, and by genuine I mean not that fake shit, genuine love.
Exactly. With your thumbs up. Yeah. And I think there's going to be unique experiences that everybody has that we all can learn from. And like we said in the beginning, we're not experts. I know that, some folks will say like, well, what makes you guys experts to tell anybody about anything about, Black love? And I was like, and that's why it's an experiment. We're trying things inside of our relationship that other people are maybe not have done. And so for one thing, like I had to make peace with not being the dominant masculine person that I am. Like that's a conversation for a whole nother day. But in my profession, in my life, like even people that are
bossy.
Thank you, honey. Even on the people that know me on this call, it's like I get stuff done, and that means I'm tunnel vision. I'm focused. I don't have time for games. I don't play around. I don't mince my words. I don't have time for frivolous stuff. And when that comes inside of a relationship where I'm with a whole alpha man who definitely is the epitome of head of the household, I got this. Follow me. I've got where we're I know where we're going, and we both have the same vision. I had to learn how to play my role and step back. Now, I think that there is... Be quiet right now. I see you chiming and talking about haha. Yep. I had to learn how to release it and dial it back a little bit so that he could... So that there was room for him in the relationship. And one thing that I'll give you your flowers on now is that you've been able to do is there is a comfort that I can honestly say I had not felt before inside of a relationship, which a trust that I can actually relax. And I think that might be a challenge for a lot of women who are used to going, especially if you have children or you're single, you're used to managing your own ship, given the freedom of somebody else to make some decisions and let you just kind of fall back. That's terrifying. Because often, if you're with the wrong person, you'll give them that power over you, if I can use that word, and they'll squander it. They'll either try to control you or manipulate you with it, or they'll play games, and then you're left kind of like, now I can't trust you. So there's a lot that I think we can share from our unique experiences.
Definitely. What is it that you feel that you learned the most from your time being single?
Oh, being single? It was self-love overall. It was impossible. If I look at all the relationships that didn't go so well or that failed, it was not... I can't blame anybody else for anything. It was all a reflection of my lack of self-love. Okay. I allow people to disrespect or play games with me because I didn't have my self-love shirt up to say, hey, you can't abuse me, and not in a physical way, but abuse is abuse. Whether somebody's playing with your mind or your money or your time or disrespecting you or involving you in foolishness, like that's all abuse. So I think we beat ourselves up so much that all it takes for us to like somebody is them to beat us up a little less than we beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
So I had to realize, like,
hold on, say that again for the people in the back.
Okay.
Rewind.
I've always wanted to do that on the video.
Yeah, that was dope. We did that.
We tend to beat ourselves up so much that all it takes is for somebody who beats us up a little less for us to be attached to them, to us to like them, for us to let them in.
Yeah.
And so realizing, like, I've got examples. I'm an example for 2 young women, and I don't want them to think that it is okay to just to coast, or just to be with somebody because it looks good on Instagram, or being with somebody because they can provide you all the monetary things, but there's no mental stimulation. There's no spiritual stimulation. You can't learn from them. You can't grow from them. Yeah. And realizing what I had to offer, I didn't want to be available to everybody, and I had to protect my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings, and really kind of shut myself away for a little bit to figure out what I liked, so I wouldn't be so easily influenced by people that I was dating.
Yeah.
And I think that's a challenge too, is that if you don't know who you are, you'll go, and when you're out of a relationship, now you're left with that feeling of like, who am I? This person was my whole world. It's like, no, you should be your whole world. And then you can help that other person grow, and you guys can come together and really make some stuff shake. But that's the biggest thing, is like, if my self-love wasn't calibrated correctly, I would not be able to be in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would definitely say that was definitely one of the first things that you have to learn to be in a healthy relationship, is that you have to practice self-love. To me, that came in the form of working out, meditation, studying, like independent study. I definitely think that those things are important for a man to grow, but for everybody to grow, honestly. But yeah, we definitely had to, I definitely learned self-love is the best love. For the Christians in the back, a lot, your Bible say your cup runneth over. So I realized that you had to fill your cup up first for your cup to runneth over. I realized that part of being a man was to have a vision, but you had to have altruistic goals, meaning you had to let your cup runneth over with love and let that spill on to the other people that surround you. And it's really an energy thing. It's a vibration thing. And if you don't have positive intentions and positive vibrations, then it shows. Women are very intuitive. And if you don't have positive intentions, if you don't have, if there's any deception within that relationship, she go feel it. She might not know exactly why, but she will feel it, and she will respond inside that relationship. So I would say you definitely have to be solid and whole within yourself before you can come together with somebody else. It's a difference. When you're inside the maturity continuum, you start off being dependent. You move on to being independent. And after that, you learn the test of a man, the test of a true man is him being interdependent. Or not just man, woman too, but I'm just talking from what I know. You have to learn to be interdependent, meaning y'all both have to be 100 when y'all come together, or be willing to take a passive role and an aggressive role whenever need be. I think too many people inside these relationships today, I don't know if you agree, to piggyback off of that, but somebody takes a more dominant role and somebody take a more passive role. It seems like nowadays our men are taking more of a passive role and our women are being much more domineering. And I think in order to help and facilitate growth within our community, we're going to need our men to be leaders again. And Absolutely. I knew that I had to learn how to be a leader so that I could lead other men into being leaders so that we can facilitate growth within the community.
Absolutely. And I think interdependency, to piggyback off what you said, interdependency for me is we both lean on each other where we need to, but if I grow, if I change, it's not going to disrupt him. Yeah. If he grows and matures and changes, it's not going to completely disrupt my life. So being able to be interdependent and to work together is something that I think we both had to learn on our own and have that full trust to do so. And I do think that there's an opportunity for our men and women to be recalibrated.
For sure. That's the time we're in the age of Aquarius. It's a whole different vibration, a whole different energy. I ain't gonna get into that right now, but if you know, you know. If you don't, I can't help you. You know?
If you know, don't know, you can Google it.
But it's the age of Aquarius, and I honestly believe, and I've been saying for a while now, that we are at a time where we can recalibrate and redefine the roles of men and women within the society, especially the Black community.
Absolutely. And to touch on that, so I know we're gonna get off of here in a little bit. We want to give you guys just a preview. For sure. The Black Love Experience is experiments. Sorry, we keep talking about. We're gonna have things that we do together as groups. So the Black Love Experience is when we go do fun stuff together. So stay tuned for that. And if you're not following us already on Instagram, it's the Black Love Experiment, and Facebook. If you're here, you already know where you're at. And then also we have theblackloveexperiment.com, where you can check out some of our services, because as a life coach and coaching team, we want to just make sure that we offer ourselves when we're not doing Facebook chats and things like that. But so for this whole experiment is we want to just do things and see what happens. You know, what happens when we decide not to judge our men's value on what they have. What do we do when we're not worried about the material things that they can provide, and we start digging a little bit deeper? How fast can your connectivity grow with a Black man, if you're not trying to judge him on his latest conquests and what he's driving, and you know, all of the superficial things that don't matter? And what happens when, as a Black man, if you're able to be free to do the things that come naturally to you, and you're held up and nurtured and loved on and praised and challenged in a good way and grown.
When you're actually respected.
Yes, and you're respected by your woman.
When you're actually respected.
Absolutely. And understanding from a man's perspective on what to do with that respect, and how to not get caught up in the abuse cycle and the shame cycle that Black people tend to be raised in. So there's a lot that we want to just talk about and share. So if you've got ideas or topics, we're welcoming people. If you got some sense and you got something positive to say or to contribute. We're going to start a
book club.
Yes, we want a literary circle, so we want to do cool things with Black people. And
cool things with Black people. That's the Black Love Experiment. For
it really
sure.
is.
In a nutshell.
It really is. And I will say this for anybody who goes scrolling down, my timeline and says, "What do you mean Black Love Experience?" Don't get the facts twisted. I've always been pro Black men. I've forever and always have been Black love to the max. Even when I dabbled in other flavors, I've always come back home. So now I just won't leave. Now I just don't leave. And I think that's a topic to talk about too. I think that there's a certain stigma, and I think that there are some times when Black women will go outside of our community to find what they're looking for because they think it's not here. And I think that sometimes what you're looking for, it might not be developed yet in the person you're talking to, and that's what Black women do, is they nurture and they develop. So what might not be in your man today can be in him in a couple of months if you nurture and love him the right way. So that's a conversation for another day. Is there anything else? The Lord brought her back home.
I am the Lord. No, not like that. Well, you know what? Just scratch that. The Lord thy God is omnipotent.
See, Jonathan is a pastor, so Vernell was probably raised in the church, so I feel like they both understand more than they should. Yeah. But no, we appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, out of your night to come and be with us. We've got a lot of things going on, a lot of things in the hopper. And we just wanted to jump on and tell you kind of who we were and what we're looking to do. And yeah.
So real quick, before we go, you can get on blackloveexperiment.com and check out what our actual vision and mission statements are. But not only that, you can also see our services. I am a certified master life coach. So I am certified to help you find your purpose if you do not have a purpose to find. I am also certified to help you search for eudaimonic happiness, which is happiness from within. If you do not know how to find it, I'm certified to help you find goals or reach goals should you need that. Like I said, we both took the time to find out who we were individually before we came together, and I think that that's very important. So fellas, I believe you could hit her up just like you could hit me up if you have questions on manhood. And if women, you could do the same thing. We do have relationship counseling, boot camps, singles boot camps. If you are a single man or a single woman and you're trying to figure out why don't nobody like you, we can help you. Totally. So, I just want to make sure that y'all know that, see that, and understand that. Overstand that.
Absolutely. So until next time, we've already given you our socials. It's the Black Love Experiment everywhere. Yes. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Let us know what you think in the comments and like and share. All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Love and light.
Now let's see how to turn this off.